Hello again, YouTube. This is Peter with you, and I'm here to talk about those liberal snowflakes, because they've gone and got themselves triggered again, and this time it's over an advertising campaign. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. And they're busy creating safe spaces for themselves by burning their shoes and cutting the logos off their socks. And hold on, wait a minute. Did I just say the liberal snowflakes? I'm sorry. I meant the conservative snowflakes. I get these things confused. Because as I see it, being outraged and being offended are basically two sides of the same coin. One just has a bit more anger than the other. But the narrative, at least the narrative constantly pushed by right-wing blowhards, is that it's the liberals who are easily upset and offended and constantly trying to create a backlash against X, Y, or Z, whereas the right is the noble defenders of free speech who can totally take a joke and have no sacred cows. But, I mean, there's all these things that happen in reality that seem to... it just makes it seem like that's not so, and I just don't know what to believe, because if Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity and Fox News and all their little acolytes and useful idiots making YouTube videos are wrong, and if the right is a bunch of hypocrites, then I just don't know what to believe about the world. Let me give you another example, right? So I'm there and I'm watching the Mr. Plinkett review of Star Wars The Last Jedi. And because I watched that video, I see in my suggestions other reviews. Now, I didn't hate the movie, I didn't really love it either, but I figured I'd indulge in some of the movies and people claiming all the things that are wrong with Star Wars The Last Jedi. And as I was watching these, well, okay, you know how there was that thing a couple months back where depending on your hearing, you either heard Lonnie or Yana or something like that? I don't remember exactly what it was. You can't expect me to remember memes and viral crap from 2 months ago, right? But it was like, depending on your hearing, you heard different things. And people argued, you know, is it blue? Is it white? Is it green? You know, what color is the dress? It was one of those sorts of things. Because the narrative is that crazy nitpicking feminists pick apart every minute detail and character interaction and scene and line of dialogue within a piece of media, and then they explain how it's all part of the patriarchy, and everyone thinks that's ridiculous, right? We're all on the same page. But as I was watching these videos, I was having one of those like moments where it's like, am I hearing this wrong? Have I damaged my hearing with too much loud music? Because it was exactly like that. It was exactly like the ridiculous nitpicking feminist, except they were talking about the feminist agenda and how Star Wars is advancing the feminist agenda, and they walked out of Star Wars The Force Awakens because it was promoting the matriarchy. And I'm like, wait a minute, matriarchy? Don't you mean patriarchy? I can't comprehend a world in which the right-wing conservatives, whatever you want to call them, however you want to describe it, would propagate a particular narrative that would in some way be some sort of hypocritical projection or something. That can't be true, though. Right? Right? I'm not going crazy here, right? They're not just all a bunch of projecting hypocrites, are they? To tell you the truth, I'm starting to feel like I don't know what to think anymore. I mean, I guess if I'm honest with myself, I've had my doubts for a while now. Because, you see, none of my philosophy professors ever said to the entire class that we all had to denounce God, like denounce the existence of God. And yet, I mean, I majored in philosophy, so I feel at least one of my philosophy professors would have made us all stand up and say God is dead, like, you know, in the movie. But it never happened. And so, I mean, if the God is Not Dead movie series isn't an entirely accurate depiction of reality, then I just don't know. I just don't know anymore.